ever looked at those towering refineries and wondered what goes on inside.
Right.
You brought us a whole stack of materials on distillation operators.
Yeah.
So today, we're deep diving into this world of valves and gauges and the surprising amount of brain power it takes to keep those industrial giants humming.
Yeah, it's a career that's more fascinating than it might seem.
Okay.
At first glance, I think. Blending that technical know-how with critical thinking.
Yeah.
And even a touch of, dare I say, artistry.
Artistry.
Yeah.
Now, I'm really intrigued, but let's start with the basics. For those of us who don't speak refinery,
Right.
what's the deal with distillation operators? What do they actually do all day?
So imagine you've got this giant pot of crude oil.
Okay.
Think of it like a messy soup of different ingredients all mixed together.
Okay.
Distillation operators are like the master chefs.
Okay.
Who separate that crude oil into its valuable components.
Yeah.
Gasoline for your car, diesel for trucks, jet fuel for planes, the list goes on.
So they're basically running this giant high-stakes chemistry experiment.
Exactly. But instead of beakers and Bunsen burners,
Yeah.
they're using these massive towers, pipes,
Right.
and a whole lot of heat and pressure.
Yeah.
And it's their job to control those variables using valves, gauges,
Right.
and their deep understanding of that distillation process.
Sounds pretty complex.
It is.
The sources mention different levels of distillation operators. Entry level, junior, senior, all the way up to lead operator. Is it like a video game?
Yeah.
Where you kind of level up your skills as you go?
You could say that, yeah. It's a career with a very clear progression path.
Okay.
An entry-level operator, fresh out of training.
Yeah.
They might say they're the eyes and ears of the operation,
Right.
assisting more experienced operators, learning the ropes, and making sure everything's running smoothly.
And what about those aha moments
Yeah.
of critical thinking?
Right.
The outline mentions that those are crucial.
Yeah.
But how does that actually play out, like, in a refinery setting?
So imagine a junior operator,
Okay.
maybe a year or two into the job.
Okay.
They're likely monitoring a specific unit,
Right.
making adjustments based on the readings from those gauges you mentioned earlier.
Okay.
Let's say the pressure starts creeping up in one of the distillation towers.
Oh, not a good sign.
Not a good sign.
What happens next?
This is where that critical thinking comes in.
Okay.
A less experienced operator might just try to, dial down the pressure,
Right.
hope for the best.
Cross your fingers.
But a junior operator with their thinking cap on will start looking for that root cause.
They're playing detective with a whole refinery as their crime scene.
Precisely.
Well-
They're looking for clues.
Okay.
Maybe the flow rate from a previous unit is off.
Right.
Or perhaps there's a problem with the temperature control system. Being able to spot those patterns, connect the dots,
Yeah.
and anticipate problems before they become major shutdowns.
Right.
That's what separates the good operators from the great ones.
And I'm guessing those great ones are worth their weight in gasoline.
Absolutely.
Especially when a shutdown could cost a company millions?
Oh, yeah. Millions, for sure. The sources we have from RoleCatcher,
Yeah.
those career guides,
Right.
they really emphasize that that monitoring and critical thinking
Yeah.
are just as important as those technical skills.
It's like they're playing this high-stakes game of chess,
Yeah,
anticipating their opponent's moves.
right.
Except their opponent is this giant industrial process.
It is a very expensive opponent at that.
Yeah.
And as operators gain experience, they move up the ranks,
Right.
taking on more responsibility
Yeah.
and facing even more complex challenges.
So we've got these aspiring chess masters of chemistry moving up the ranks. What does that look like for, say, a senior distillation operator?
Yeah,
They're dealing with even bigger puzzles.
absolutely. Think of them as the grand masters of the refinery.
Okay.
They've seen it all. They've solved it all.
Right.
And now they're mentoring the next generation while keeping the whole operation running at peak efficiency.
And efficiency seems to be the name of the game these days,
It is.
even in industries we don't always associate with cutting-edge tech.
Right.
Right.
That's right. The sources mentioned process optimization,
Yeah.
which might sound like something out of Silicon Valley,
Right.
but it's becoming increasingly important in refineries, chemical plants,
Okay, so explain it to me like I'm wearing a hard hat instead of headphones.
Okay.
How does a distillation operator actually, optimize a process?
Sure.
Seems like it's been around forever.
So it's all about finding those hidden margins,
Okay.
those tiny improvements that add up to big savings over time.
Mm-hmm.
So a senior operator might they might analyze data
Okay.
from different units, looking for bottlenecks, identifying areas where they can tweak temperatures, pressures
Right.
to squeeze out a little more yield
Yeah.
or reduce energy consumption.
So it's not just about keeping things running.
Right.
It's about making them run better.
Exactly. And it's not a solo mission.
Okay.
A lead distillation operator,
Right.
the one calling the shots for a whole team,
Yeah.
they might be collaborating with engineers, chemists,
Wow.
even data analysts these days to implement those process improvements.
Wow. It's way more collaborative than I imagined.
It is.
And speaking of collaboration, let's talk about something that's popping up everywhere these days,
Yeah.
even in refineries.
Yeah.
Artificial intelligence.
Okay.
We've got those excerpts from RoleCatcher
Yeah.
showing how AI is changing the job hunting game.
It's fascinating, isn't it? We're moving away from the days of blindly sending out resumes and hoping for the best.
Yeah.
AI-powered tools can now analyze those job descriptions,
Okay.
pinpoint the key skills employers are looking for,
All right.
and help candidates tailor their resumes and cover letters to stand out from the crowd.
It's like having a secret weapon in your back pocket,
Yeah.
especially in a competitive job market.
For sure. But the really interesting stuff, I think, is happening in the interview process.
Okay.
Imagine practicing your answers to common interview questions
Right.
with an AI that can analyze your tone of voice,
Wow.
your body language,
Really?
and even give you feedback on how to improve your delivery.
Wait, hold on. AI can tell if you're fidgeting during a virtual interview.
You better believe it.
Wow.
These algorithms are getting incredibly sophisticated
Yeah.
at picking up on those subtle cues that humans might miss.
Right.
But it's not just about catching you out. It's about helping you present your best self, even when the pressure is on.
Okay, that's seriously cool.
Yeah.
But let's bring it back to our distillation operators.
Sure.
How is AI actually impacting their day-to-day work inside a refinery?
We're already seeing AI being used to analyze the massive amounts of data generated by those gauges and sensors we talked about earlier.
Okay.
Imagine an AI that can detect those subtle patterns,
Yeah.
pressure, temperature, flow rate.
Right.
That might indicate a problem brewing,
Okay.
even before an operator notices anything amiss.
That's like having a sixth sense for spotting potential disasters.
It is.
So AI could actually help make these refineries even safer.
Precisely.
Wow.
And more efficient, too.
Okay.
AI can help optimize those processes we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
Finding even more ways to squeeze out that extra percentage point of efficiency,
Right.
which can translate to huge savings for companies.
It sounds like distillation operators are going to have AI as their new best friend,
Yeah.
or at least a very powerful tool in their tool belt.
Absolutely. But let's not forget the humor element here.
Okay.
While AI can crunch numbers and spot patterns like nobody's business,
Right.
it's still the distillation operator with their years of experience, their gut instincts,
Yeah.
and their ability to think critically under pressure who makes that final call.
So AI isn't replacing anyone just yet,
Right.
but it sounds like it's going to be a game changer for distillation operators.
Yeah.
It's making me rethink what I thought I knew about this whole field.
Yeah, it's a great example of how technology is transforming even those industries, we
Right.
often think of as being like traditional.
Right, right.
But here's something else to consider.
Okay.
We've been talking about oil refineries this whole time,
Yeah.
but those skills that distillation operators have,
Right.
that deep understanding of separation processes,
Yeah.
that's applicable in a ton of other industries, right?
You're right. It's like realizing your favorite kitchen gadget
Right.
can make way more than just one dish.
Exactly.
So if someone masters distillation in the oil and gas world,
Yeah.
where else could those skills take them?
So the possibilities are surprisingly diverse.
Okay.
Think pharmaceuticals,
Okay.
where distillation is used to purify medications,
Okay.
or the food and beverage industry.
Right.
Ever wondered how they get those perfectly clear fruit juices
Okay. Yeah.
or create those complex flavors in alcoholic beverages?
Okay. Now that you mention it, distillation is basically the wizardry behind some of my favorite drinks.
Exactly.
Really.
And let's not forget about perfumes, essential oils.
Right, right.
Distillation is how they extract those concentrated scents from, plants, flowers.
Yeah.
The point is, those core principles
Yeah.
of heating, separating, and condensing,
Right.
they're the backbone of countless industrial processes.
So it's not just a job. It's like a transferable skill set.
Exactly.
Someone could start in an oil refinery and end up crafting the perfect craft beer recipe.
There you go.
Wow.
And that kind of adaptability, I think, is incredibly valuable in today's rapidly changing job market.
Okay. So for our listener who dove into this this deep dive, knowing next to nothing about distillation operators,
right?
What's the one big takeaway you want them to remember?
I think the biggest takeaway here is that sometimes the most fascinating careers are hiding in plain sight.
Okay.
Distillation operators aren't just turning valves.
Right.
They're problem solvers, critical thinkers.
Yeah.
And increasingly, I think they're at the forefront of integrating cutting-edge technology into their work.
It's a career path with staying power.
It is.
Even if the exact industry or application evolves.
Right.
Kind of like those core distillation principles we were just talking about.
Yeah.
And on that note, I'll leave you with this thought.
Okay.
What other hidden careers are out there?
Right.
Jobs with unexpected depth and surprising connections to other fields.
That's a great question.
It's a big world out there.
It is.
Just waiting to be explored.
And on that note of exploration, we'll wrap up this deep dive. Until next time, happy learning.